Our first guest on the show this afternoon is talking about the world of finance. We all want to get rich quickly, don't we? We want those hacks to earn us more money, and it seems like everywhere you look, someone is giving some degree of financial advice. Well, I am joined now by Paddy Osborn. He's from Hildenborough, and he's the academic dean of the London Academy of Trading, and he's here to warn us of finfluencers. Paddy, thank you very much indeed for being with us.
Hi, Leo. Pleasure.
Well, I've never heard of this term before, finfluencer. What does that mean?
Okay, it's basically a financial influencer, so all these social media influencers, and these are specific influencers who use their celebrity status to entice followers to make financial investments. Rather than telling them to buy a certain pair of shoes or a nice coat, they'll tell them about financial investments, which is a far more serious issue.
Crikey, how have we gone down this line then, that obviously people as influencers, so if people don't know what an influencer is, basically it's somebody on social media with a well-known presence that will potentially be paid to advertise things or basically kind of push you towards a product. But how do we get down this line then, Paddy, that it's down to finances? Is this something that they're paid to do as well, or is this just off their back? How does it work?
They are absolutely paid to do this, so it's undisclosed, so they're not obviously obliged to tell us how much they're getting paid. There will be regulated entities, so proper funds that will be out there. They're resorting to finfluencers to promote their own services and goods, and they'll get a commission. They'll get quite a significant commission based off what they're selling on their behalf. Very interesting indeed. How much of this actually happens on social media? Lots and lots, and more. It's happening all the time, and it's a problem. It's a sort of significant conflict of interest for them, because they're basically saying, here, buy this stock, or I just made £1 million on this stock, and they're standing on their boat, or they're whatever. Yeah. They're selling the lifestyle. It's not a feasible sale, to be honest. They're getting paid for doing this, and they don't possess the qualifications or expertise to give that advice in the first place. So it's a shady area, I think.
It's so interesting. I mean, ever since the internet was kind of created and used mainstream, there's always been sort of phishing, which is where you will get emails coming in basically saying, kind of get rich quick schemes or whatever it might be. It's been used like that the whole time. And I suppose some people may be thinking, Paddy, is there actually a way to get rich quick using any of these things influences? Is there legitimacy to it, or is it all bunkum?
It is 99% bunkum. I mean, there are people out there. There are people giving advice online, who are qualified. They have expertise, and they are giving advice, which is great, no problem. But it's too easy. I mean, Kim Kardashian, I think she was just fined about $1.2 million for unlawfully touting a crypto security, which is obviously. Exactly, and India Securities Exchange Board have been fining people. Australian regulators have been fining people. The FCA is putting in some guidance, which is really not going to make much difference. They're getting the Advertising Standards Authority to try to make people aware of these potential pitfalls and dangers. They make things look so attractive and so easy, and so money, and there's simply nothing behind it in many cases, most of the cases. Yeah.
And also, we talk about social media, but also online, we're being pushed, whether we like it or not these days, to do everything online. And of course, what that means is a lot of places will say you can get rid of the middleman, the financial advisor, and you can go to a website, you can invest your money this way, and there'll be online advisors doing it for you. Now, there are very many legitimate sites that do that, of course, and you have to use your own initiative and advice, but that doesn't necessarily move the role of a financial advisor out of the way, because these people are qualified to advise you on these things.
Absolutely right, and this is the fundamental difference here. They are all effectively financial advisors. The finfluencer is the sort of unofficial one, which may or may not have qualifications, and then you've got the financial advisor. Only 8% of the UK use a financial advisor.
Wow.
And these financial advisors need to take a lot of exams. It's like they basically have to take a degree, and they have to do continual qualifications, updates, and exams as they go on to keep their license. Yeah. I think the French regulators they're taking the first small step towards certifying finfluencers, because they've developed a 25 multiple choice quiz. Multiple choice question quiz. So basically, a finfluencer, if they want to get a certificate from the French authorities, they answer this quiz, they pass the quiz, and they'll have a certificate telling them they are qualified to give this advice. That's almost worse than not having anything at all.
And I guess the same thing applies. I mean, if you're going to go to the dentist, you're not going to go to someone that's taken a picture of themselves standing outside a hut with some pliers somewhere. That's not the way it works.
I know. What you said before about the internet, there's always that. Basically, there's internet, there's AI now coming along, and it's basically the internet is fantastic. It is the most amazing invention ever, but there are people who will abuse it. AI, fantastic. It's going to help health. It's going to help, certainly developments in all sorts of different areas of life.
Yeah.
But people are already now scamming on AI. So there are always bad people out there wishing to use the technology for bad, just as much as there is people out there looking to use technology for good. So that's kind of where we're at. And I think these influencers, recommending a pair of shoes or a pair of dungarees, fine. It's not going to do you any major harm.
Yeah.
You might get laughed at by your friends, but yes. if you take quite a significant financial decision based off this unqualified advice, that could be life-changing. And this is why we really need to see a bit more control over these influencers.
Absolutely right. And going on from that, then, what do we think we need to do? It's definitely a difficult, sort of turbulent time economically at the moment. A lot of people are looking to either move money out of investments, perhaps put money into investments, and want to make sure they get the sagest advice and do it the right way. What would you suggest for people to do to go about putting down the correct foundations for their finances?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to look at a couple of stats from the research that we did, 24% of people are looking at get-rich-quick schemes. Horrible thing to say, but that's how it is. And also 56% of people are looking to supplement their income with some sort of investment. So more than half the people. And the other one, just another stat, is 49% of 16 to 34-year-olds are influenced in their financial decisions by finfluencers or social media. Literally 1 in 2 people under 35 look to social media to decide what to buy and sell in the financial markets,
Crikey.
which shocked me. So what they need to do,
yes.
There's a couple of things they need to do. One is to check the advice they're getting. So the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority, they have a register of advisors. And so, if there is a company or someone is advising, go and check the register, just search it. And if it's not on there, they're not a regulated advisor. So that's the first thing. The other thing is to, get a bit of knowledge for yourself. I think everyone should aim to, go to bed less stupid than they got up and learn something every day and develop themselves, however they want to do that. But learning and knowledge is power. And I think that will always be the case. And I think, if you understand the basics of financial markets, if you understand the basics of trading and what is reasonable, what is real, and what is sensible, then you can make your own judgments much better when someone comes up with something that sounds too good to be true. The other very simple thing, which is everyone's been saying for years, if it sounds too good to be true, then it is.
Magic beans.
Magic beans. There are no magic beans.
Yeah.
Just put down the magic beans, walk away. So that's basically that's the advice I would give. Seems too good to be true. Ignore it. Learn something. Learn about it. I'm from an academy. We have courses, 1 week, 4 week, 12-week courses where you can learn the basics of financial markets and trading, and then you will be able to make these decisions and maybe save yourself a lot of pain, heartache, and money.
Absolutely right. There is absolutely no kind of excuse or any reason not to educate yourself about this before you go into very, very important financial investments. Paddy, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Great, Leo. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
So interesting. It really is. Those get-rich schemes, they've been going on forever, haven't they? And I bet many people haven't got that rich from them, to be honest.